Notice of public meeting of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville. Pursuant to Chapter 551, Title 5 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act, notice is hereby given that the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, in accordance with Article 5, Section 12 of the Charter of said city, will convene an executive session and a regular meeting on Tuesday, September 20th, 2011, at 5:45 p.m. and 6 p.m. in the Commission Chambers on the second floor of the Brownsville City Hall Old Federal Building located at 1001 East Elizabeth Street, Brownsville, Cameron County, Texas. Executive session item A, attorney consultation pursuant to Section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code in connection with pending litigation styled and numbered BFFA Local 970 versus City of Brownsville, cause number 2011-DCL-5738-E in Cameron County.
Mayor, I move we go into executive session.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, Stella, it's about 6:15. Our meeting was called for 6, so we're ready to go.
Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Right.
Let us pray. Father God, we thank you for your love, your grace, and your mercy. We thank you that you love us when we're doing well and when we're not. But Lord, for this meeting tonight, I ask you to give each of our leaders divine discernment, direction, and anointing to make the decisions that will be good for this city. Help us to see what is obvious, help each of them to see what is not obvious, and what the long-reaching effects will be of each item. We thank you and praise you for that in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
The mayor's report, basically, the only thing I'd like to report is that there was a congressional hearing at the University of Texas in Brownsville yesterday. Chief Carlos Garcia testified, as well as myself, as well as County Judge Carlos Cascos. For those of you who did not see what was reported, basically, and I'd like this to be out as public as possible, is that even though we have issues with the border and the Mexican government is fighting bravely and courageously against the drug cartels, the city of Brownsville is a safe place to be. We're open for business. We commend the police department for their wonderful work. We ask that they continue to do so. But for all of you who are all of our ambassadors to the city of Brownsville, don't let anybody get away with the type of language that we hear. Maybe we should not take our kids to Brownsville. Maybe we should not do this or do that because Brownsville is so close to the border. Brownsville is on the border, but it's a safe city. And tell them, like I told them yesterday, we're open for business. Commissioner? Rick?
On my commissioner's report, I wanted to do a little bit of both. I'm going to have a meeting, a town hall meeting on Sunday, September 25th at Good Shepherd Catholic Church at 3 p.m. at the parish hall. It's basically dealing with the construction going on right now on East Avenue and Tulipan. It's not a city project, it's a project from PUB, but the community wants answers. They haven't received the answers they wanted, and therefore I'm scheduling that meeting. PUB is not attending, but they have given me the material that I need to be able to present to the citizens. And so therefore, that town hall meeting, I will deal with other issues if they arise, but the purpose of that meeting is so that we can deal with the issue right now with the drainage project going on East Avenue and Tulipan.
What time will that be?
At 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And if you'll allow me, nomás quiero lograr este medio para avisarle a la gente que este domingo a las 3 de la tarde en la parroquia Buen Pastor en la East Avenue voy a estar teniendo una junta para la comunidad. Se va a estar hablando directamente del proyecto que está llevando ahorita corriendo las líneas sanitarias en East Avenue, Tulipán, pero a ese momento también la ciudadanía, la gente de ahí que quiere venir a hablar de ciertos problemas que puedan tener, pueden venir ese tiempo. Entonces va a ser este domingo a las 3 de la tarde en la parroquia Good Shepherd Catholic Church en East Avenue. Gracias. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, that ends our reports.
Okay. Consent agenda items A and B.
I've got a motion and a second for approval of the consent items number 3, A through A and B. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Public hearings. Item 4, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2011-022 to rezone from dwelling G to professional office G for Block 1, Lot 1 of North Paredes Business Plaza located at 5420 Paredes Line Road, Brownsville, Texas.
Honorable Mayor and City Commission, the property here shaded in red, professional office, it's currently zoned dwelling. The applicant and the P&Z unanimously approved a professional office zoning for it. This is a public hearing. And this project is under the Commissioner's District of number 2.
Okay.
This is a public hearing.
It's an action item. Do I hear a motion?
Close public hearing first?
Motion to close the public hearing is approved.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. All those in favor?
Aye.
Before you go on, Ben, Commissioner was asking me, Pete, do we have to have a final reading of Section B of the consent item, the approval, and second of the final reading of the ordinance number 2011-1548?
That's part of the consent.
Okay.
That's part of the
We don't
consent
have to
already.
read it?
It doesn't have to be read?
It says
No.
reading, so we don't need it.
That's the
Okay.
final. It's
Appreciate it.
always part of the consent.
Thank you. Thank you, Don. Go ahead, Ben.
The motion was to close the public hearing.
Okay, now
Action.
we have an action item.
Move to approve.
Have you heard? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
On this next item, I asked for it to be tabled. The applicant is requesting for it to be tabled. There's a concurrent application being prepared for a specific use. So I ask this item to be tabled, please.
Okay. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion, anybody opposed? Motion carries. Tabled.
Item 6, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2011-024 to rezone from dwelling G to medium retail G, .454 acres of Tract 2 subdivision A located at 301 Calle Milpa Verde in Brownsville.
Can you get the map, please? In this particular case, the applicant would like to have a retail complex there on Calle Milpa Verde and by the drainage ditch. The Plan and Zoning Commission voted unanimously to approve this application for approval. It is a public hearing.
We're close.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, public hearing is closed. Now we have an action item.
Approved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item 7, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2011-025 to rezone from dwelling G to light retail G for .1383 acres out of Block 28 of Acacia Lake Gardens subdivision located at 125 Calle Milpa Verde.
Honorable Mayor and City Commission, this is the property shaded in red. Here, they would like to have a maintenance garage. The Plan and Zoning Commission voted to approve or recommend this application to you unanimously. This is a public hearing.
Close?
Moved and seconded to close public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Action item.
Move to approve. Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item 8, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2011-025-S to allow general retail maintenance shop on a light retail G for .183 acres of Block 28 of Acacia Lake Garden subdivision located at 195 Calle Milpa Verde.
I'm sorry, maybe we should have read those together, but
Yeah.
in here, there's a site-specific plan for the garage. There's an elevation and where the garage will sit on that triangular piece of property. Again, here with this case, the applicant submitted his narratives and his site plan, and the Planning and Zoning Commission voted approval, and it's being recommended to you for your approval unanimously from the Planning and Zoning Commission. It is a public hearing as well.
Close?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Move to approve. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item 9, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2011-027S to allow a light commercial specific use in a general retail for 1.610 acres out of Lot 1 of Pedro Morales Tract, located near US 281 and West Elizabeth Street.
Honorable Mayor, this is a property on Military and West Elizabeth. The proposed use in this specific use is a car lot. The Planning and Zoning Commission voted unanimously to approve this application to you for your approval. So this is a public hearing. This is in West Brownsville.
Move to close. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Move to approve.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item 10, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2011-029-S to allow an apartment-specific use in a dwelling-specific area for .48 acres out of Lot 12 and 13 of Block 1 of Renfro Terrace subdivision located near Renfro Street and Boca Chica Boulevard.
Honorable Mayor and City Commission, this is a specific use for 4 apartments. There's a site plan in your packet. The Planning and Zoning Commission unanimously approved this application. This is a public hearing.
Move to close public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Move to approve. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item 11, public hearing and action to accept the 2011 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant Program for $88,294, funds which will be divided as agreed between the City of Brownsville Police Department, Cameron County as disparate allocations. The City of Brownsville Police Department's share is $60,001, and the Cameron County share is $28,293.
Mayor, members of the commission, good evening. A couple of months ago, I came before the commission seeking authorization to apply for this grant. We did. The grant has been awarded, so I'm here before you all seeking approval to accept the grant, but a public hearing is required to seek input from the public as to what we should, buy with the allocated funds. My recommendation is to continue buying portable radios so that we can continue to transition into the P25 digital radio system by the year 2015. But it's public hearing.
Move to close public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Move to approve the grant. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item 12, public hearing and action to accept the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant Program Award for $64,230, funds which will be used for the purchase of a fingerprint identification system.
This grant has been awarded to us by the Lower Rio Grande Development Council. In this amount, our intention is to buy an electronic fingerprint system to be able to fingerprint all persons that are booked into our jail system and electronically submit their fingerprints straight to Austin. And in turn, it will also allow us to purchase 9 mobile identification kits to be able to carry in our patrol units to be able to fingerprint individuals if we need quick and immediate identification of those individuals out on the field.
It's a public hearing.
We're close.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
We approve it. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion
Thank you,
carries.
Chief.
Thank you.
Thank
Item-
you, Chief.
Item 13, public comment. Do we have any public comments? There are no public comment. 13 is an action item, consideration and action on resolution number 2011-054 to ratify the acceptance of a grant from the Federal Aviation Administration for AIP funds in the amount of $914,000 for the engineering work for a series of capital improvement projects at the Brownsville South Padre Island International Airport.
Mayor, member of the commission, as you note, the purpose for this item is to request city commission ratification of the acceptance of this $914,000 grant from the FAA for AIP funding to carry out a series of projects which we brought before you earlier. I believe it was in April. This does the engineering work associated with the project so that we'll be in a position to submit construction documents and go out to bids on these projects to obtain FAA funding. We recommend approval of the ratification of the resolution.
Approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 15, consideration and action to authorize the Transit Advisory Committee to implement an annual fundraising sponsorship event.
Good afternoon. This item is before you because at the request of the Transit Advisory Committee, they are requesting authorization to implement an annual event that will allow the committee to conduct a fundraiser that would allow us to purchase equipment and bus shelters and passes for individuals that need transportation as far as passes are concerned, for the Brownsville, for people that need services from Brownsville Urban System. The Transit Advisory Committee would be managing the event, and they would be hosting it and sponsoring and coordinating that event. Ms. Sylvia Berry, who is the secretary for the advisory, is here, and she's in the audience, and she's volunteered her time to share the committee, to share a fundraising committee that would have an annual event that would raise funds for public use service for the bus department.
Have you cleared everything through, because it's clearly not an established 501c3 not-for-profit?
No,
But will those funds be going through the city, or where will they be?
the funds would be going through the city of Brownsville, and they would be managed by the Transit Advisory. They would recommend how those funds would be utilized. I know that we've had several requests to our department for people that have wanted passes for the homeless program. I know that I talked to Commissioner Zamora about that several months ago, but she was not the first person that had addressed that concern. And there's no mechanism for us to be able to just give bus passes to people. This would allow the opportunity for people that might be in need of that such a service to go before the Transit Advisory Committee and make that request. And if we have those funds available, then they could, authorize to do that. But all the funds would come to the city of Brownsville, and they would be allocated to Fund 65, which is the public transit fund.
When they set up the guidelines as far as how they'll be distributed, or what a person can do to to be able to qualify, would you be kind enough to bring a presentation to the commission so that we could see exactly how that's going to happen?
Sure,
Thank you.
yes.
Yeah, it would be nice to have a written criteria so that it would be a standard operating procedure as to who would be eligible and who would not be eligible. All right?
Yeah, and that's something that that we will be working on and put together at our we meet tomorrow, and based on this decision, then that's probably, we will move forward with that action, with putting the policies and procedures in place and incorporating those policies and procedures into the Transit Advisory Committee bylaws.
You know, Norman, just in an abundance of precaution, would it be possible, and I don't know whether this needs to be an action item that has to be voted on immediately, but wouldn't it be nice to have everything already in place so that we know that we're voting on something that you're going to go out and raise funds and how it's going to be applied? Was that, or is there some need for us to act tonight?
I think this is something that had come up to my attention at our last meeting, and I just wasn't sure how we were going to approve this, so I went before and talked to Pete and talked to legal and kind of got this guidance. But we could certainly put the policies and procedures in place.
You know, I would suggest that we have all the criteria done and ahead of time, and perhaps maybe a packet submitted to each one of the commissioners so they know exactly. I love the idea. I think it's a great idea.
I thought it was a great idea too.
You know,
when it was
and I commend Commissioner Zamora for thinking about this one. But what I'd like to do is to be able not to have any problems down the road by saying everybody understands who these funds are going to go to. If that's the wish of the commission, I don't know. It's still an action item, so you guys, you know.
I mean, I'll do whatever you direct me to do. I mean, we can set up the policies and procedures. That shouldn't take us that long. I mean, just putting the policies and procedures together and implementing that, or you can approve and come back.
I moved briefly table until the policies and procedures are set up and be brought to the commission, not table for an indefinite time.
Well, I
But
can
in
bring
other
it
words,
to the next
Once the
meeting.
procedures are ready, put it back on the agenda and bring it back to us.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
And-
Estella, if you could put it for the next meeting, we'd be happy to deal with it. And again, do not take this as something that we're not,
No, I understand.
okay?
I totally.
And like you have another, feel free to call me up for the music and I'll be glad to help you.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Yes, I will. Thank you.
Move to
Thanks.
table? Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes to be tabled.
Item 16, consideration and action to adopt resolution number 2011-055, approving a plan of finance to issue general obligation refunding bonds to refund certain outstanding obligations of the city and authorizing the city staff and professional advisors to prepare and distribute all documents and to take all actions deemed necessary in connection with preparing for the issuance of such bonds, including the selection of underwriters.
Honorable Mayor, members of the City Commission, this item is to give us authorization to refund some of our long-term bonds that will assist us on the long run. And right now, if we go ahead and refund some of these bonds, there's a potential of savings of about 5.25%.
Could you repeat
Andres,
percentage, please?
yes,
I wasn't-
percentage, about 5.25%. Mr. Andres Rios, he's here, and he'll make the presentation, Ortiz rather. Andres, you want to come over? And he'll show you where the savings are, and obviously, we definitely recommend this.
Thank you, Pete.
I guess we can start on the main one.
Yeah, if we could go to page 6.
Yeah. There.
Okay, perfect. Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. My name is Andres Ortiz. I'm here with Estrada Hinojosa, URFA. As Mr. Hinojosa discussed with you previously, there is currently an opportunity to refund some of your outstanding debt for debt service savings. Currently, you can refund about 17 or 18 million of bonds that currently carry an interest rate of about 4.677 at a rate of 2.723. When we do the refunding, that will produce present value savings of about $1 million, representing 5.5% as a percentage of the refunded bonds. What we're seeking here tonight is authorization to proceed with this plan of finance. Very briefly on that one. That is what your debt service looks like now on the left, and after the refunding, it'll be lowered a little bit as a result of the savings. This assumes that interest rates will stay at or near the levels that they are at now. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Does anyone have any questions? Okay, it's an action item. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Andres.
Item 17, consideration and action to encumber or to carry over $30,000 of the Brownsville Beautification Committee's fiscal year 2011 unspent funds to fiscal year 2012, and to encumber or carry over $408,451 of the Brownsville Public Library's fiscal year 2011 unspent funds to fiscal year 2012.
Honorable Mayor, members of the City Commission, right now the Brownsville Beautification Committee has funds to construct a sign at the entrance of Brownsville near the Navigation District. As of right now, they will not be able to incur those funds, so we're asking the City Commission to go ahead and give us authorization to carry over those funds to fiscal year 2012. Also, the library has some funds that they'll be using for some of the error grants as the local share, and that has not been allocated or spent. It's in the budget. We are asking the City Commission to go ahead and carry over those funds into fiscal year 2012. That's what this action item is for.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a question, I'm sorry. This is for the project or the presentation we had not too long ago regarding the signage that was going to be put up at the port?
Yes. That 30,000? Yes,
Yes.
that's what this is.
And so if I'm understanding correctly, you're saying that it's not going to be done?
Not in this year.
Not
In other words,
this
it's
year.
It's carrying that money over for next year, so it can be done next year sometime.
Okay, I was under the impression that it was going to be done this year.
It just hasn't happened.
Hasn't happened.
And our fiscal year's over.
Okay.
It's almost, it ends in September, and they are telling us that they will not be able to spend those funds that are already earmarked under 2011, and they're asking us if it's possible for us to go ahead and carry those funds into fiscal year 2012.
Did I have a motion on the floor? In a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item 18, consideration and action to award the medical insurance-specific stop-loss contract to a stop-loss insurance carrier.
Honorable Mayor, members of TML, they went ahead and did all the changes, or actually the revisions, not the revisions, but the analysis, and it has been determined that the best quote that came in was quote number 1 under National Med Excess. And that's even better than the current rate that we have with ING. We estimate that the annual premium for the National Med Excess is $585,020 versus $615,915 that we're currently paying with ING. And again, this is based on the population of the city. So we are recommending that we go ahead and award the stop-loss insurance to the National Med Excess.
Pete, Mayor.
Go ahead, sure.
Why did we, is there a particular reason why we use TML to solicit proposals, or is it,
Well, they're the third-party administrator, and they're the experts.
so they serve as our
Yes.
TPA?
Yes,
Okay, did we advertise locally?
Yes.
In the
Yes, we
paper
did.
for this?
yes.
Okay.
Basically, as our administrator, this is the lowest.
They are this is the best bid or quote that came in.
Right, okay. Do I hear a motion?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Pete.
Item 19, consideration and action to award a contract for the construction of the relocation and replacement of runway 17 visual approach slope indicator with precision approach path indicator. It's a project of the Brownsville South Padre Island International Airport.
Honorable Mayor, City Commissioners, staff recommends to award a contract for the construction and relocation and replacement of runway 17, which is called BASI, with the PAPI project for the Brownsville South Padre Island International Airport to F&W Electrical Contractors of Floresville, Texas, the low responsible bidder, for a bid amount of $50,000. Completion time for this project shall be 10 consecutive calendar days, and funding for this contract is available through a 95% AIP funds and a 5% PFC funds. Airport Administration concurs with this recommendation.
Your motion.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item 20, consideration and action to award a contract for a wildlife hazard assessment and management plan for the Brownsville South Padre Island International Airport.
Staff recommendation is to award a contract for wildlife hazard assessment and management plan for the Brownsville South Padre Island International Airport to AMEC, Earth and Environment Incorporated of Santa Barbara, California, excuse me, for a proposal amount of $164,895. This contract should be completed within 20 months as per the schedule provided in the proposal. And funding for these services are available through an FAA fund grant for the wildlife hazard assessment, and the phase 2 for these same assessment or pending funding contingent on the study. So that there's going to be a second phase that I'm going to be bringing back.
Action item, do I hear a motion?
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item 21, consideration and action to award a contract for the purchase, delivery, and installation of VISIX Access TV display player software for the Brownsville Multimodal Terminal Project.
Staff recommends to award a contract for the purchase, delivery, and installation of VISIX Access TV display player software for the Brownsville Multimodal Terminal to VISIX Incorporated of Norcross, Georgia, in the amount of $50,232. Funding for this procurement, it's available through a federal matching fund of 80%, and then the 20% will be covered by the city. Bus Administration concurs with this recommendation. This is software for the multimodal facility for the general public, such as temperatures, arrivals, and the weather announcements at the new multimodal.
Move to approve.
I have a question, I'm sorry, and maybe
Yes,
because
ma'am.
I'm not understanding. I'm reading through the documents that were provided to us, and it says that no bids were required.
Well, this is considered a sole source under Chapter 252-022 of the Local Government Code.
Mhm.
It allows for this type of procurement when you have a sole source commodity or service that is provided by a company that only that provide that particular software. You know, like Microsoft, they have copyrights of their software. In this case, this is a copyright software also as well. So it is called sole source.
Mr. Luna?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean no disrespect when I say this, but you said the same thing when it came to American Surveillance, and they weren't a sole source.
No, that's a captive. Captive procurement, it's when you have a service that it's already being provided by a company or firm that it's already providing services for the city, and then what you're doing is just providing an additional component or an additional service for that same company. The difference is captive versus sole source. Sole source is only provided by a sole source company that can only provide that commodity or service. The other one, a captive, is like, let me give you an example. If you have our fleet that it's made out of Ford trucks, and then you want to bring a GMC, but you have parts and inventory to fix all the Fords. Well, you don't want to start buying also parts for Chevy when you already have your fleet that is composed of Ford, and you have, you know what I mean? I don't know if you understand already what I'm saying.
I understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll be more than happy
Yeah,
to.
And Robert,
sit down.
just so
Yes.
that perhaps maybe for future reference, you know, if there is a particular explanation, maybe in parentheses, what government code, like when you have a single source, the code provision that provides for that, so that perhaps maybe we can, we know ahead of time, okay?
Yeah, it is provided on the analysis, if you notice on
Yeah,
the.
it's in there, but I just needed explanation because I
Okay.
didn't
Okay.
know
Okay.
what it meant.
Sure.
Okay.
And so another question would be, when the product, I guess, was originally bought or purchased through this company, did that go out for bids?
Well, this is brand new software, what we're talking about. This is software that is going to be used on equipment that is going to be mounted over there at the multimodal facility. This is only what we're doing right now is buying the software.
Okay, so the software itself
Mhm.
did not go up for bidding. And the items or wherever you're gonna be installing it, that wasn't purchased from this particular company, was it?
No, that was a separate procurement, if
Okay,
I'm
that's
not
where I'm getting
mistaken.
confused, because if it's software, shouldn't it have gone up for bidding?
It's like buying computers. Let's say, for example, you buy computers from Dell, but then you install software from Microsoft. Microsoft is the sole source. They have the copyright of the software. It's a difference between hardware and software.
But there's other software that could be used with your products that you currently
No,
have?
let me-
This is software that we currently have. We purchased this software a couple of years ago, and through the initial purchase did go through the procurement process.
Okay, so you're
It's this-
updating your.
It's not, we're expanding that software to incorporate
That was my question.
additional modules that will now allow us to utilize it further. We're not upgrading, we're expanding the capability
But
for
your
the use.
originally, it did go up for bids?
Right, right.
Okay.
That was about 2 years ago. And when we purchased this, when we purchase software in our department, we purchase with only the modules that we might need at that time,
Okay.
with the condition that as we expand, we're able to purchase additional modules. And that's basically what we're doing now. We're
Okay.
purchasing the additional modules to be able to give us arrivals, departures, allow us to advertise, allow us to show the Weather Channel, basically what you see at the airports when you're waiting for.
Okay, thank you. That's what
Okay.
I needed, the clarification.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Want to make sure that we're spending the correct money on the correct items, because these are very, very, very
Yes.
expensive items, and it's only fair that we ask questions, because it's a lot of money.
And I appreciate that.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item 22, consideration and action to renew a contract for software maintenance and technical support for Public Safety Information System for the Brownsville Police Department and the Brownsville Fire Department.
Staff recommendation is to award a contract, a renewal contract of the software maintenance and technical support for Public Safety Information System in the amount of $101,929 for the Brownsville Police Department and $25,929 for the Brownsville Fire Department to Spillman Technologies out of Lohan, Utah, for a total contract renewal amount of $127,858. The difference of this renewal reflects an increase of $657 due to the additional 2 modules that were installed. The contract shall commence upon approval by City Commission and will expire next year, September 30th, 2012. Funding, it's available for the renewal of this system to the maintenance and technical support contract to the police department and fund account 01310752 for machinery and equipment.
Do I hear a motion?
Well, I guess I have the same questions as the other one. I just want to make sure that it's the same thing.
Yeah, this at the initially was went out for proposals. What we're doing is, since this is a captive, this is a maintenance and technical maintenance, now we're just doing the renewals.
So this went out for proposal 7 years ago.
Yeah, what this is the main public safety information system that is been running now at PD and fire department. And to answer your question, yes, it was procured at the beginning.
through the bidding process, and so this will continue on an ongoing basis, on a yearly basis, that you're
Yes,
gonna
ma'am.
have to come back? So if it went up in 7 years, I don't know, I think that's a little bit too long for it to have gone on, and we just come back and we approve, we keep approving?
Because of the funds.
Mayor, members of the City Commission, we purchased this computer-aided dispatching records management system in 2005. It cost us over $1 million. With it came all this software from Silverman Technologies. Basically, what we're doing every year, we're just renewing the maintenance contract on the hardware that we have. So Spillman Technologies is the sole source or the captive vendor for the maintenance of the software program. I can't bring in IBM, I can't bring in Microsoft.
No, I know. I think for some reason I was aware of that.
It's just an upgrade to the equipment that's there already.
It's a renewal, it's a renewal on the maintenance, and it's also an upgrade because we have 2 additional modules that were added on, municipal court citation and driver's license scanning.
I'm aware of this. Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And just for the record, the reason why we bring it to City Commission is because in the purchasing policy, every item that exceeds the threshold of $35,000 needs City Commission approval. And that's the reason why we bring it every time we go beyond the threshold.
That's good. Go ahead.
City Commission just wants to make sure that that's right, sir.
Item 23, consideration and action to award a contract for purchase, delivery, and installation of new and existing furniture modifications to accommodate new radio frequency identification display system for the Brownsville Public Library.
Staff recommendation is to award a contract for new furniture and existing furniture modifications to accommodate the new radio frequency identification display system for the Brownsville Public Library System. This is going to Library Interiors of Texas, out of Austin, Texas, in the amount of $71,085.16. This procurement reflects interlocal cooperative contract agreement through Choice Facility Partners, and this is coming out of the Harris County Department of Education contract pricing, and we have a local agreement with Harrison County. Funding for this project is available through account 01490-710, which has a balance of $300,000. The administration of the library concurs with this recommendation.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item 24, consideration and action to award a contract for purchase, delivery, and installation and training of new radio frequency identification system to replace the library's original magnetic strip anti-theft system for security and inventory equipment for the Brownsville Public Library Automation System.
This item it's the second phase of the previous one that you just awarded, and this is for the purchase, delivery, installation, and training of the new radio frequency identification system to replace the library's original magnetic strip anti-theft system for security and inventory equipment for the library automation system. This is going to TechLogic Circulation Systems of Inwood, West Virginia, in the amount of $228,665. Funding for this project is available through account 01490-710. The same account that we used for the previous agenda, and there's a recommendation for from the library. This is to replace the old system, that it's obsolete.
Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item 25, consideration and action to award a contract for the Rehabilitation and Reconstruction project for hurricane disaster funds.
Staff recommendation is to award a contract for rehabilitation and reconstruction project for the hurricane disaster funds to Brownsville Housing Authority of Brownsville, Texas, the highest ranked firm. This contract shall commence subsequent to award by City Commission and will be completed no later than September 30th, 2012. Funding for this project is available through the Texas General Land Office in the amount of $1,543,118. The administration of the Planning and Community Development Department concurs with this recommendation.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item 26, consideration and action to award a term contract for the purchase and delivery of leather gear for the Brownsville Police Department.
Recommendation is to award a contract for the purchase and delivery of leather gear. This is a term contract for the Brownsville Police Department to Galls Incorporated of Lexington, Kentucky, the low responsible bidder, at the stipulated prices. There's a tabulation sheet attached to the analysis. This contract shall commence upon approval by City Commission and shall expire September 30th, 2012, with an additional 2 extensions of 1 year each. So it will be extended for up to 3 years. Funding for this contract is derived from account 01311704. The administration of the Police Department concurs with this recommendation.
Approved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item 7, consideration and action to renew the annual maintenance contract for HVAC and R system equipment for the Brownsville Police Department headquarters building.
Staff recommendation is to award a term contract or renewal contract for HVAC system equipment maintenance at the Brownsville Police Department headquarters building to Train out of San Antonio, Texas, in the amount of $49,237. This reflects TCPN contract pricing. The contract shall commence upon award by City Commission and shall expire September 30th, 2012. Funding for this annual maintenance contract will be it's available to the general fund account 01310-752 under maintenance and equipment.
Do I hear a motion?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Adjourn.
Thank
All
you.
those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.